Last weekend I was in the park with my 3-year-old daughter, and she was enjoying the nice weather as I was, until suddenly an elderly child interrupted her play and told her, "Hey, you're doing it wrong." So, as I said, I want to talk about the unlimited creativity of people, and I'm really fascinated by this. When I'm having coffee with my wife, I can get really excited and taking pictures of the situation. When the waiters use the chocolate wrapper and a spoon to serve it, I think this is truly beautiful. And I think in these mundane, everyday life situations, there's so much beauty, but we can also learn a lot from it. Also for us as engineers, on how technology is used and how technology will live in the real world, not in our research labs. So I graduated here in 2010, started working at a software startup company, and I was designing software, giving it to people, and time again, they surprised me. For some reason, they always managed to do things I didn't intend them to do with my stuff. And I didn't understand because I was a true believer in user-centered design. And I followed UX blogs and UX bar camps all over Europe. My CEO was a big fan of UX as well. And still, they didn't do the right thing. And I was really frustrated by it. So frustrated, I decided to go to the other side. I decided to join the Faculty of Social Sciences across the road to study technology from the human perspective. Because I thought, if I can decipher this irrational behavior of people, I will become a better engineer, design better software, and people will finally do the right thing with the stuff I create. Although that didn't go as planned, because I became fascinated by this. So this frustration was replaced by a fascination. And these situations often go unnoticed. We don't think about this. If we do it ourselves, it just happens automatically. And I think it's so beautiful. And so ever since, I started to take pictures of these situations, and I have a lot of them. So we can now look at some pictures. So why do I think this is relevant? Like here, the newspaper laying around in the train being used to block the cold air vent in the train, brilliant. Using an ironer in front of a window on a hot summer night, a bit ironic, but nice. Using a wheel to block a door from closing, and I don't know if anyone recognizes this room. We are human too. We do irrational things too. But I think, as I said, we can learn a lot from it as engineers, because we do underestimate the creativity of people. And the things we create end up in this messy environment. This is the real world. This is where technology will end up. And we often dream of like a technological future where everything works as intended, like a science fiction movie setting, or even like a Microsoft or Google ad. But the world is far more messy, and people misuse our things all the time. And I learned that actually there is no such thing as misuse. It's just another way of using things, and maybe in ways we didn't imagine them to be used. And I stopped fighting against it, but to embrace it. So I think as engineers, we often have far less impact than we would like to have on how things are used. And people always find ways to get things working for them. And to me personally, I find this a very liberating idea. Thank you.